sun opposite to Saturn. Here's the sun, and you must be on Saturn then. This is highly empowering and stabilizing, but at the same time, it can be very exhausting and sad. So the sun in astrology is naturally opposite to Saturn. And what I mean by that is rulership. The sun is the center of our solar system, and it gives life to the planet and all of us. And when you find the sun in your chart, it really is going to reflect the center of your personal life, and therefore how you act and express yourself and what enlivens you, what experiences you like to have. The sun naturally rules Leo, the 5th sign. And Saturn, on the other hand, is the final planet that we can see without a telescope. And it represents how we perceive boundaries in the objective world and gain our structure within it. This planet naturally rules Capricorn and Aquarius, which is the 10th and the 11th sign. And if you do the math in the 360 wheel, that's going to put the sun and Saturn in opposite rulership. So this also would suggest that the connection between the two of these planets is a very natural phenomenon that we all experience. And I could lay it out like childhood and adulthood. The sun reflects play and fun and vitality, excitement and joy. And Saturn, on the other hand, has a more pessimistic and cold and austere way of perceiving reality, because it is reality itself. It's the difference on some level between subjectivity and objectivity. Sun, Saturn. So when the sun and Saturn go together, we have a deeper glimpse at our paradigms. And what the hell does that mean? I'm so glad you asked. A paradigm is a construct of the way you see the world. It includes your beliefs, it includes your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your patterns. On one level, you could call this your worldview. When the sun goes opposite to Saturn, you basically have an essential conflict between both of these things, the sun and the Saturn. And that could say that, generally speaking, expectations and obligations can get kind of confused. But an opposition is not all bad. Truly, this is the furthest two planets could be from each other in the wheel. So that could look very disconnected, such as the Earth would sit in between the two. Or this could operate like a bridge where we can really integrate both pairs. So, on one level, the sun aspecting Saturn may make it feel like we're restricted with our life force, our enthusiasm, our joy. It might be a little bit harder to access. But on the other note, this is going to be character development, to take a stronger look at who we are, be more realistic, and decide if we want to take responsibility for things within our lives. So on one note, this looks like fear and ego drives getting in each other's way. And as a result of that, we could be overly cautious. We could be too afraid. We could feel internally inhibited, and that can make it harder for us to be spontaneous or to do the things that strike us as fun. On the other note, sun opposite to Saturn could play out like acting irresponsibly or frustrated against our limitations and then pretending like there are none and approaching life like a baby or a child, basically. So I think at best, this opportunity allows us to really embrace our austerity and our pragmatism in a more positive and creative way. So when the sun is opposing Saturn in transit, or if this just happens to be your motherfucking life, what you have to do is strive to be responsible and see the world in a positive light. And then through becoming more trusting, you're gonna really overcome the propensity to give up or erect ill-conceived plans that come from pessimism or worrying, overthinking, just being a negative motherfucker, okay? So ultimately, you gotta remember, guys, that a lot of the limitations that we experience within life truly are self-created. And Saturn is gonna give you the opportunity to see that, an aspect of the sun, that you create your paradigms. And these are largely influenced by the world and your past and the patterns we've experienced, but we reserve the right to change it. When we assign that responsibility over to the world or other people, we lose personal power and agency. And that's not a fun life to be living. In that case, you're more led by duty than desire. Do you want to live that life? I submit that you don't, because you're watching this shit. So be positive, put a smile on your face, and do something hard so you can feel better about your intrinsic motivation, aka your willingness to do the work, your devotion to the great work. Sun and Saturn would also talk about fear of being yourself or being afraid of yourself. And that's not going to help us, man. So the message is commit to you. Commit to your personal growth. Fuck off, be great. You have a special purpose, and it's going to take work in order to realize it. This shit is not going to build itself, okay? Dreams only work if you work. So it's Mr. Meyer with the fire, here to take the collective vibration higher. I love your beautiful soul, and I'll see you next time.